Alright folks, I'm going to come back with just one more video, well, I don't know, maybe just one more video, about this Gibson. And in this case, it's specifically about what I think I've discovered, and some of you don't seem to agree. In fact, there are a few who are pretty vehement in your disagreement with me about why you think this lacquer checking is happening, or that you think that it was done on purpose by the factory. So I'm going to tell you why I've come to the conclusion that I've come to, and it's pretty simple why I've come to this conclusion. If you take the guitar case, okay, let's open her up. Let's open up the guitar case and look at the way this guitar case is designed, okay? When the guitar lays down in it, what's actually making contact with the guitar is that bottom bout of the guitar. As you can see, I can get my fingers under here, so none of this is touching. None of that is actually touching the guitar. But down here, it's touching a fuckload. And up here, you can see, okay, like none of this is touching. So when you close the guitar case, again, none of this is going to be in contact with this upper part of the case, because you can see the strings rest down on it like that. There's not a lick of wear on this neck to suggest that it's been played. These frets are in perfect condition. There's not a single scratch or mark on these frets. There's no wear on this fingerboard at all. This guitar has hardly been played. You would expect to see wear marks from a guitar that's been played. So there's no way that this lacquer checking was caused by somebody's sweat. There's not a lick of wear on the neck. And if you look at the back of the guitar, in order of how it contacts the case, right? It's not so good, not so good, not so good, way worse, way worse, way worse, way worse, where it's in contact with that case. Right? So think about it. Like, I'm just coming to this conclusion based on logic. Alright? So if you're gonna argue with me about that, think about this just from a strictly logical point of view. Okay? Fabric, guitar, touching fabric. Okay? The guitar is now touching the fabric in these places, and all these places where it's really touching is where it's really bad. So fabric has the ability to absorb moisture. If fabric is in a place where it's going to get moisture, right? Like, this isn't airtight. There's no way this guitar case isn't airtight. Pretty close, but it's not airtight. And I reckon that where it's been in contact with this case, that this over time, that wherever this has been sat, has picked up enough moisture inside of the case, in the fabric, and that's been in contact with the body, and that's what's caused all those problems in the bottom of the case. Right? So, if you have a better theory, I'd like to hear it. Because I'd say, based on logic alone, it's pretty clear that's what's happened. If you have a better theory of why you think that lacquer checking is happening, let me know. Because as I said, if it was from playing, I'd expect to see wear marks in here. I'd expect to see a fingerboard that looks like it's been played. It looks brand new, like it came out of the factory. Like this guitar, otherwise, looks brand new, like it came out of the factory. This has hardly ever been played, and it's so obvious that it's hardly ever been played. There's hardly any wear in the areas where you'd expect to see wear on a guitar that's been played. This looks pristine. There's not a mark on any one of these frets, right? Unless the guy paid to have a complete full fret job. But even then, I'd expect to see some wear marks on the fingerboard, so no way. This guitar hasn't been played. It just hasn't. Look at the tops of the pickups, don't have any wear marks on them. The pickguard is pristine. Like, this just has not been played. and I'm certain that it did not come out of the factory like this. If the factory had relicked this on purpose, then you'd see this shit all over the guitar. But as the top is almost pristine, and then in every place where this guitar contacted the case, it's really bad, then you tell me. You tell me what's happened here. Because the neck, perfect. There's not a mark on the neck. Right? Because why? It's not been in contact with the case. Except for one small little area here. Right? Not a mark on the back of the headstock. This kind of shit, I don't know what this is about. This happens to every Gibson. But, you know what I mean? But the stuff on the body, for sure. I'm certain it's because this was sat in the case. And if you don't think so, then explain to us why.